Hello. Welcome to Truth Runs Deep podcast. I'm Taryn,
I'm Callie.
and we're here to talk about all things Law and Order, SVU, the Mothership, organized crime, fanfic writing, and more.
Yay.
We are less than 30 days from organized crime.
Woohoo!
Like 3 weeks, something like that. I don't know.
Finally! And didn't we get the summary for the first episode?
Yes, for this. Yeah, we'll go ahead and talk about that because there's nothing else to talk about the show. So we'll organize come first. That's,
Everybody
that's what I
finally
forgot.
posted. Everybody finally posted the trailer, and that's about it.
Yeah, they're like, yep, here's the first episode description, and that's it, y'all. Surprise.
On your own.
You literally are on your own. So, but well, a lot of the time, online shows like that, like shows on like streaming platform, don't really do trailers. I mean, they kind of build them into the next episode. Like it'll be like at the end of the episode, so like they're built into the show. But like, and I don't know if they do like episode descriptions either. So we may just be like flying by the seat of our pants for a couple times and being surprised every
I
time.
did have a realization the other day that for some reason, streaming shows get more Emmys and stuff than stuff on TV. So fingers crossed.
Probably. I mean, I as much as I like, or actually, I don't really. I mean, I don't know how to say much. My love-hate relationship with organized crime.
Yeah, we have one. Yeah, guys.
I don't know if it would ever be a war. I don't. It doesn't bring enough views in. Probably, I don't think. Definitely does not bring enough views in. It's usually like the lower end of the like. They every week they do like a list of shows and their key demographics, or it's kind of usually like at the close to the bottom. So
Yeah.
or not at all.
Well,
So
anyway,
I need
fingers
my
crossed.
computer to stop being slow. Oh my god.
He
I'm
knows.
trying anyway, I should have put did I put that in there? I think I forgot to put the episode description, I think. But it's called number one, it's called Lost Highway. That's what I was gonna do because these articles always be coming out in the middle of the night and I'd be like, dang, I should add that to my notes and then don't do it. Why is my computer so slow? MacBook, you cost too much to be so slow. Oh my goodness.
Literally.
It's actually probably wasn't meant. MacBooks were not meant for doing all this stuff. It's literally blowing, so I don't blame it. But
yeah, like
what was I doing?
Like all these like old games and such, and then I remember the Mac.
Yeah, it was not meant for gaming. Its CPU is very not good for games. It will make your computer run like a freight train. They did not make Macs for games. Dang, I know where to look. Look on my phone. Actually, I thought I had saved it, but I guess I didn't.
Don't worry, we'll find it.
You got it. Okay.
No, I said
you got it.
I said we'll find it. I didn't find it.
I know where it is. I just forgot to save it. I think I like bookmarked it on Twitter and then did not do anything else with it.
I was trying to like stall. Like, don't worry, listeners, we'll find it.
Oh, here we go. I found it. Lost. Oh, so please enjoy my cinnamon phone case. But I found it. Did find it. It says The Lost Highway premieres on April 17th, which isn't that long from now because next week is literally April. As we expected, Stabler goes undercover as a big rig driver to expose the international smuggling ring. As he settles into his new identity, he gets to know the it literally says in parentheses, working girls.
In quotation
pattern. It does. And a pattern of disappearances emerges.
So that's
I don't think it literally says.
Yeah, literally.
It says working girls.
In quotation marks. So, well, now we figured
and
out.
The promo kind of has some bits and pieces from this because it's like we saw the big trucks and the accident,
and then our girl is by a big rig.
Yeah, Elliot's hit,
then gets kidnapped, and then Elliot
he gets in that. He gets hit. The truck gets hit. Passenger side collision. I mean, driver side collision. So
if we're correct, we get a kidnapping and a car accident in one arc.
Yeah. So
great.
Oh boy. That's all we literally again.
Everybody pee. Oh my god. Everybody better be fucking alive.
Those articles, I think I knew because I actually the last time we recorded, I accidentally put all the Wisconsin stuff in the
Especially
wrong
our
doc.
girl, Riot.
So um, so I'm having to like make sure I do stuff we already talked about. None of this articles actually say anything about like the
I
stuff
think
going
we
on for real.
Yeah, I think we talked about it
Nothing
all.
new. We've talked about nothing new has happened. Okay, they just like they posted the full trailer. They have a shortened version of the trailer that was they played last week during the showtime
Yeah,
because
literally 30 seconds.
yeah, because it is a minute and 10 seconds actually, so they condensed it significantly to get it in the
It was just all
slots,
the Stabler stuff.
pretty much. Yeah. Yeah, nothing new under the sun, but yeah, nothing new about that. Pretty much that's about it. That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Well, because what will happen is actually, oh no, I don't know if we talked about this. So they will be showing organized episode, sorry, episode one on TV. I think we talked about it. I don't remember if we did or not, but like it will
Well,
be
yeah,
in the nine
never
o'clock slot
again.
for one night only. It will be in the 9 o'clock.
One
Well, if you
night
use 10 o'clock, but
only. One night
for you use 10 o'clock,
only.
me it's 9 o'clock. For one night, it will Found will be if you're watching Found, which you should be watching Found. I don't know what you're doing with yourself if you're not watching
Do
Found.
it! It's an order.
Yeah, you better because like the plot thickens on Found. The episode might be crazy this week. I mean next week because they're also skipping this week. But better be good watching
Oh
Found.
yeah, literally. We got 2 freaking episodes to worry
Yeah, we
about
got
next
some big. There's some big stuff in all three shows. I mean, All in Orders is pretty big too. SVUs is huge. We're gonna talk about that later, and then Found is gonna also be crazy. So we got a lot of crazy TV next week. But we are ready. Actually, we're not ready, but we're
No,
ready enough.
but we'll get there.
Oh, we'll get there. You are correct about that opinion.
I told you. I'm
Well, it's
telling
not the
you.
first time. It's not the first time
Telling
she's had a
you.
wig.
Well, yes, but
My glasses are
like
dirty.
that one at least
Mine.
looked like her hair.
Oh
This
yeah.
one was blonde, and I'm telling you, they kind of just had to do with it because, like, before her hair was like a bob.
Yeah. Now she has like a pixie cut.
Now she has a pixie cut. I'm telling you, she just showed up and they had to run with it.
Yeah. So listen, you
Oh,
don't tell
excuse
me.
me. They showed up and they had to run, and the show had to run with it.
Yep.
Okay.
So
Anyway,
I think that's it.
Onward
Literally, there's
time.
nothing new. We're just yapping about nothing because nothing happened.
Mothership.
But hopefully, well, yeah. So, but we're all back to the plan. So the plan is, but they're showing one of the episodes on TV, but both of the episodes will come out on the same day.
I don't know why they're not showing both. That's just
There's
confuses
not
me.
enough time. There's not enough time
So we get
because
one.
I think because shows have scheduled a very specific time slot and they can't just add another time slot because
Yeah.
something else comes on before or after. So it's like, but really, it's a marketing plan because they want you to go get on
Yeah, so
Peacock for
they have
real.
on live TV, and then you have to go to Peacock to find the other one.
Well, yeah, but that's gonna be a weird. I don't know how because obviously, unless Peacock has scheduled it so that it doesn't come out till after the first one does. Most of the show, okay, most of the time streaming shows they come out at midnight Eastern time usually. So for me, it's 11 p.m. the night before. But like, how, it's weird. I don't know if they like decided that like they aren't gonna release it until later in the day or the same day because you could have already watched it on Peacock when it comes on the TV. But I also
Who
feel
knows?
like they might have to, if they swear, depending on how much they swear, they may have to censor it when it
They're
comes on
gonna
TV.
censor it. Oh, that's gonna be
It
funny.
may have to be censored on TV, and they may have to shorten it a little bit due to like commercial time and stuff. So it may be shortened and
That's
censored
gonna
when
be
you watch it
funny.
on TV. Because if somebody's dropping an F bomb, it's not allowed on TV, so you never know.
God
So
knows they
it may
probably
be shortened. They may cut out a little bit because like that time clock is like 1 hour, and the commercials are like 12 minutes of that. And, streaming services they have a little more time because they don't have to worry about like commercials filling in the spot with commercials. So they may have to cut some of it out. So we'll have to watch both to see if there's a difference. Okay, we'll watch
Yeah.
both to make sure we didn't miss anything. But I think that's it for real.
Okay. Now on to the
The rest
episodes.
of these other articles are for Like, oh, we talked about this already, but the crossover is there is an SVU mothership
Not
crossover coming.
OC. Okay, not
Yeah,
OC. Sorry, but Mothership and SVU.
yeah, that will be coming the same weekend where it's Grom. At least I saw somewhere that they may have switched it, but I don't know if that's
That
true.
would be so. I don't know what's going. We don't know
I
what's happening, guys.
so
We
we'll
don't.
let you know when we like find out exactly, but you never know. Anyway, so this one is called for Folk Hero. Sorry, for words
But
around Folk
yeah.
Hero.
And as the promo pretty much already showed, it is inspired by the Luigi Mangione
Yeah.
case
Yep.
that actually did happen in New York. So,
Yep.
um,
In December, it wasn't that long ago. So
yeah,
they were like, we gotta rip this from the headlines right now.
yeah. Reed Scott, who plays Riley, went on Instagram and it's like, this episode is going to be controversial, but it's important. So, just heads up there, guys.
Yeah. Yeah. Because they do something that I expected them to do because we'll talk about it when we get to the end because it's kind of
All right, so it starts off with Brady and Riley in a car, and they're driving to a Comstat meeting. And Brady looks at Riley and goes, "Is Jalen actually sick, or is he trying to avoid the longest Comstat meeting ever?" Um, and Riley says that yes, he actually is. He was waiting in the ER for hours to get a chest scan.
yeah, this is
Um,
pretty sick.
yes.
So we did not hear
So,
from him. No shot there.
like, we don't for certain know what's happening, but like we do know that McCod is had been working on a movie in Australia, so it could
Yeah.
be
Yeah,
him
some stuff
working on
right.
that
Yeah, because movies with movies
and
and stuff like sometimes you have
them
to go back
taking
and film stuff and like things
and him
happen.
having to do that and be like, "Hey, like, do you want to make my character just like sick or in court for a few days? Thanks." Um,
Yeah. So we did not
and
see
they
Jalen
get
there. My mom was
uh,
very upset about it too. She's like, I need. So
yeah,
okay.
she's like, "We need Jalen." We love him too
Yes.
much.
Anyway, yes, my
Okay,
mom really
so
loves him more than
anyway, and
any of
then they
us.
drive past this building that's called says, oh wait, no.
Uh,
Then they transition to this gentleman walking out of
He's
this
walking
building
down the street.
and on the street. He's on the phone. He sees a guy in a camo jacket and a hood and glasses, like sunglasses, staring at him. And then he pulls out a weapon and kills him right there in front of everybody, which I did not realize actually happened in the real case until
Yep,
now.
caught it on camera. They caught it on
Um,
camera. Like they just
yeah.
didn't see his face, but they had caught it on camera.
And then he runs off,
These
and
girl,
the crowd is
these
like,
are
"Oh
really
my
good,
god,
but they're the most crunchy, weirdly crunchy like things. It
what
is so
are they?"
good.
Freeze
Freeze
dried
dried
strawberries.
strawberries with
Yes,
like yogurt creamy stuff.
love
We have
those.
freeze dried blueberries also
I love freeze
because
dried
they
strawberries, but they have to have like a little bit of sugar on them.
these have like yogurt. They're like little like little balls. So,
Yum. Okay. Anyway,
it's snack
so
time also while I'm recording. Sorry.
I should probably get food after I have soft pretzels to eat in my fridge. Um. Anyway, so yeah, and then I have popcorn because the Chicago shows are finally back tonight. Um.
Yep.
The building he was standing outside of was OptiShield, which is a medical insurance company
Yeah.
building. Violet and not Violet, Brady and Riley finally get the call about this case, so they
They're on
run.
the radio or something, and
Yeah,
they're
they're
like,
like,
"There's a
okay, we're near there, so they're going, and they're like, literally get there, and the guy's literally just lying
on the ground.
on the ground.
People are just standing there.
Yeah.
It's there.
And so they're like trying to. They have a I don't think I caught his name, but they had another cop with them.
Man, why didn't I put his name? It was a variant. Um,
They had another cop there with him because um Like again, Jalen wasn't there. They find out that the guy who is dead is Logan Andrews, who is the CEO of OptiShield. And so they need to find out who did this and fast. They get the intro, they transition to the precinct, and we see Violet in charge, basically telling everybody, this is what Brady wants you to do. Yeah.
DeLuca. His last name is DeLuca.
Okay.
He's played by Jesse Metcalf. But we have a fun little officer on this episode.
Is that supposed to was he on the show before? Is that supposed to mean something?
Has he been? Not on Law and Order, I don't think. He's been on some other like NBC shows, but like not and Hallmark, particularly Hallmark Christmas movies. Because our mom was like, "I know, I've seen him before. It was Hallmark." Anyway,
love that. All right, so there's
my mom loves Hallmark movies, so Christmas movies only though. You can't watch anything else from October till January, except for Law and Order.
Sounds about
right. The only thing I'll force her to change TV for. Anyway.
Yeah, so anyway, they're like looking all over for this guy, and they finally like get sight of him
around the corner. He's like not too
and he jumps on the back of a UPS truck.
Yeah.
So Riley and DeLuca try to follow the UPS truck. It goes around the corner. They lose him. And then we see camera footage of him stealing a laundry truck.
Yeah.
They then find the empty laundry truck, and there's a note in the driver's seat that says, "People over profits. Sorry I stole your truck."
Right, well.
So Brady goes back to the precinct and is with Violet, and they're trying to figure things out while DeLuca and Riley are still looking for this guy. They go to there are a few points where Riley was calling Brady Lou, and I'm like, oh, really? It's like when Carisi called Olivia Lou. Flashbacks.
Yeah.
So
speaking of Carisi, we have many things to say about Carisi later, but we'll get there.
There
are many things to say about Dominic Carisi Jr.
Okay, so then Riley and DeLuca go to a store that the guy was said to be in, and the workers there were like, he went that way. Then they're like, were you hurt? And he's like, no. All he said was, I'm sorry for scaring you.
Yeah, like he wasn't trying to harm them. He kind of just cut through the back of the store.
Then there's a solo chase, and one of them.
But there's always a chase. There's always a chase.
Always, it's like their MO at this point. And then
maybe like 2 episodes where there's not a chase.
Then he gets on a city bus.
Yeah.
So
it's making them harder to try to.
Actually, did happen in real life. Did get on the bus, but now it's like now they don't know where.
A lot of things where they found him at, they changed. Where they found Luigi at, they changed.
Yeah.
But
so then Violet finds footage near a coffee shop where the bus stopped, and he sees this girl giving him food and water. So they go to talk to this girl, and they're like, "Okay, can you tell us where he went?" And she's like, "No." They're like, "What do you mean, no?" And she's like, "I know you want to find him, but I don't want you to find him." And they're like, "This guy just killed somebody." And she's like, "I know. That guy bankrupted my uncle and his entire family when he got sick."
Yeah, because insurance is crazy.
So, like, as far as I'm aware, he's a hero.
Insurance is crazy. If y'all don't understand, not in the U.S., because there are people who are not in the U.S. Who do listen to us. So thank you. The United States, for being one of the wealthiest countries in the world,
our health insurance sucks.
It does. You can go, and I could live in Europe and get free healthcare. Like,
we gotta pay for it here.
Yeah, you do. And then insurance doesn't cover everything. They can say no. Your insurance can still get the insurance, and they say no.
Yeah, if you're lucky, you get a good one. If not, you can pay for a few things, and then they can't pay for the rest, and it's just a mess.
Yeah, some jobs provide health insurance because health insurance is expensive, and then they deny you sometimes because of pre-existing conditions, which you don't have no control over, but they can charge you for it anyway.
Yeah.
It's just a
So
lot to
yeah,
be. Healthcare is crazy.
yeah, and we'll
So
get into the nitty gritty in a bit.
yeah,
So they then get like intel that the guy in the
there's
mask
someone else in the same attire.
in the
So
coat
like,
is like near them. So they go to find them, and there's literally these three guys standing there, all in the same coat.
yeah, so
And they're joking
it could
around
be.
and laughing, and Riley's like, "This is serious. You need to tell me where he is." And then
They're
they
like,
just laugh and walk away
like
because
no.
no, they don't want to. The wife of Logan Andrews goes into the precinct and says that there was this guy who might have a motive. Um, he used to work there,
Of course,
and
they always have to have the red herring at the beginning of these
yes,
movies. So
and they said that it was making an AI. The company was now making an AI system that was supposed to decide who can file a claim in regards to certain things, and it kicked 85% people off of the claim, and they didn't know that they could reappeal it.
yep,
So
you can
basically,
refile one.
85% of these people were filing a claim for something that they really needed, and the AI
And was saying
system was
no.
like, "Nope, goodbye."
And you're like, well,
Yeah. Then the
another CEO is walking down the
hold on.
street.
They get intel that the original guy they're looking for is at this certain address. And they didn't Riley and DeLuca didn't know what it was, but the guy they were talking to, it's like, yeah, you might want to hurry. There's another CEO that works at that building.
Yeah,
So they find him, they find the guy. He's hiding behind this like art
statue
piece.
kind of art piece. It's really big,
Looks pretty
kind of
cool.
art piece.
And they literally at the point where one of them tackles the CEO and one of them tackles
Yeah, they're like,
the
you have to be
shooter
out the way.
right before
Hmm.
like he literally,
Is about to get.
about to kill him. And the CEO is really confused, but it's like, dude, they just saved your
We
life.
just saved your life here. We saved your life.
Then it transitions right to court, and
Yeah, there's no like thought about. They just kind of were like, all right, here
there's
we go, bam.
literally a fan club for this
Yeah,
dude because
because there actually is one of them.
there is in real life. He's
Yes.
walked into the courtroom and they start to cheer for him. Um, they his name is Ethan Weller.
Hmm.
Sam is like, he killed a guy in broad daylight and then sent the city on a wild goose chase.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And the defense attorney is like trying to like say, like, trying to give her peace, and the judge is like, no. And the defense attorney's like, what? And she goes, there is nothing that you could say to convince me to let him go.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Then we get Baxter, Sam, and Nolan talking, and
Yeah.
Nolan's like, he murdered him in cold blood. And Baxter's like, and people love him for it.
Yeah. They're kind of at a situation here of like, killing someone is bad, but what also a company was doing was also bad.
Yeah, because it finds out like the Weller and his mother were part of did have OptiShield as their insurance. And they were trying to get an insurance they were trying to get a procedure for her because she had breast cancer.
Yeah, like
And the
really like
insurance
stage 4, like
company
little late stage.
would not pay for it.
Yep.
And then she died.
Yep.
So Weller was
Because it
not
was
happy.
really expensive. It was like $20,000 or something like that. But like,
So we start with like this court. We start with the court and Nolan gives his opening and it's pretty good.
yeah. They did
And
something
then
different though that they hadn't done before.
the defense attorney stands up and says, "We're gonna waive our right to testify, to waive our right. Oh my God, waive our right to give our opening until the people rest."
Yeah, which apparently we didn't know you could do
Yeah,
that,
I
but
did not know
now,
you could do that until now. Um,
ooh,
yeah. So Miley testifies basically that what this guy did, how they chased him, and how they were trying to stop him from killing somebody else. Um,
Riley
what's
kind of testifies about what happened.
this letter that I don't remember?
I don't know, but basically summarizing the letter, it basically was like the insurance company does not care if you get sick
Oh wait, I remember now. It was
or when you're sick. They want your money.
I think it was uh I think it was Ethan that wrote the letter.
Yeah,
And
yeah, because Luigi has written a letter about, well, he's written a long, it's more like a manifesto about, like,
so then sorry, there's like a spot on my computer. I'm trying to get it off and it's driving me crazy.
um, while you're doing that, basically, yeah, the insurance company just wants your money. They don't really care if you're sick or if you die.
If it helps them to get money, great. If not, don't care.
Yeah,
Um
they want to keep as much money as possible
so
because if you give
basically
him,
the defense attorney is giving her open, and she's like, he was trying to save lives. He killed Mr. Andrews before he could kill anybody else.
yes,
And Nolan's standing there like,
you're like,
what?
mm. He's like,
Huh?
what kind of argument is this? But
Huh?
okay,
Huh? And the defense pretty much said what he did was fine because he was forced to kill to save lives. What?
yeah,
So Nolan's like, Judge, can we go meet in chambers, please?
yeah,
And he's like, this is preposterous. He's basically saying, the defense is
that it
basically
was
saying
fun
it was okay for him to kill this person
because he's the
because
system has
in case the
he's profiting off of other people die.
the
Essentially,
Andrews accidentally, like, I don't know, made a denied another claim and somebody ended up dead.
yeah,
And then the judge is like, well, that's up for the jury to decide if this is
yeah.
preposterous or
And I
not.
don't know. One's like, bro,
Like, okay. So again, we have Nolan, Baxter, and Sam talking, and Nolan is convinced this case should be open and shut. He killed him
mm-hmm. Yeah,
in broad daylight. He's guilty. Period. End of
yeah,
story.
yeah,
Baxter says they have an issue.
yeah. Of course, they have an issue.
It's a soulless business for profit. And Sam is like, the anger has been brewing. And it, like you mentioned, yeah, it has. Literally, the richest country in the world, and we're like the only ones who have insurance you have to pay for.
Exactly. They can tell
Also,
you no. You can pay for it, and they still tell you no. Like,
also the fact that, like, there are a lot of people in this country right now are definitely on different sides of different issues. And then this happened, and everyone was like, yeah, I don't blame him.
yeah, they're like, yeah, fair
Okay.
enough.
And
It
then
is what it is.
the defense attorney
'Cause I
had
did watch the
offered,
documentary about Luigi Mangione, and I did. And there's a Rotten Mangoes episode about Luigi Mangione, and like,
yeah. So the defense attorney had offered a
it's very
plea.
fascinating. Yeah. Well, she
And
did a long time ago, initially, like a while ago, and no
yeah.
one was like, no.
And Nolan again was like, no, cutting a deal here is a cop out. And
Yeah.
Baxter's pretty much like,
Well,
okay, I don't agree with the decision, but if you believe it's right, then I'm gonna let you see how it goes.
yeah.
Um, they then have this guy testify who wrote a
Yeah.
book called Delay and Deny.
Well, there's
And
another word. It's the phrase that Luigi Mangione. It's what the book is titled. I can remember what the other word was, and I was like, what was the other word?
pretty much this
Dispose? Dispose? I think it's delayed and not dispose. Dispose,
something
I
along
believe.
those. But anyway, the premise of it is that this guy wrote about 46,000 people that died because their claims were denied.
Yeah. Or I feel like the number is probably much higher than that, but this is TV, so yeah, they were trying to.
Um, Then we get Ethan testifying, and he pretty
Yeah,
much is like, yeah, my mom got
he
breast
was.
cancer. He tried everything when his doctor recommended this medication.
It was
She
like a
re-
trial experiment drug. It wasn't
yeah,
like, but it was really expensive.
and it was expensive. Um, and he's trying to.
He tries to, he keeps calling and calling, and they keep denying him. He literally goes to this guy's office, being like, "I'm gonna sit here. And I'm gonna tell you about why
And
you
the
need to
guy
do
is
this."
just
And he's
like,
like, "No,"
okay, no.
brushes him off, whatever.
Um, and so there's like this point where like he's like, Weller is kind of going into like this not political, but like personal sympathetic tirade.
Mhm.
And Nolan keeps yelling, objection. Because it's like,
Exactly.
this is not helping my, like, everybody's gonna
Yeah.
feel bad for him. This is not helping my case.
Exactly. Yeah.
The judge, every single time, overruled, overruled. And
Yeah.
Nolan,
Or like he's allowed
there's
to test it.
multiple points
Like,
where Nolan is trying to argue it, and the judge is pretty much like, sit down and shut up.
yeah, he just has to take it here. So it's like, well,
So we can definitely tell that yeah, the judge is biased.
I think somebody says that. I think Baxter says something like about how like the judge kind of spits donates more towards left wing causes, but not saying it's a bad
Yeah.
thing, but they do think the judge is biased here. But
So Nolan knows after Weller testified that he's pretty much like,
yeah, he's
shit,
done.
I'm screwed. And he goes to talk to the defense attorney and basically has to like hang his head a little, and he's like, hey, you wanna talk about that deal? She's like, nah, I'm gonna
No,
leave that to the jury. Thanks though.
no, no.
And so
That's really
Baxter and Nolan go to talk about like literally any options they have left.
you're
And
like, no,
Nolan's like, I could argue that the judge is biased.
and you're like, don't do that. That's a waste of your time. That's a rabbit hole you don't have time to dig
Yeah.
in.
And then he's like, I'm sorry to like Baxter, like, I'm sorry that my stubbornness pretty much might basically lose us this case now.
Yeah.
And Baxter's like, well, we'll just have to learn for next time.
Literally, yeah.
But like this is where I get like confused. Because yes, did this guy believe he was killing the CEO for a correct reason? Yes. Did he still kill somebody? Yes. You can't just go around killing people.
I know you can't, but this isn't how the argument is that like the system kills people every single day and no one cares. So
So
it
and
is
then
it's quite
everybody's the jury's about to give their verdict. Four women's about to read it, and then they end the episode.
yep. So you don't know.
We don't know, but
Because we really don't know. In real life, we
we
don't know.
literally
There's no
don't.
trial yet.
They're
I
still
think his trial date was
in
like
the air in real
either
life.
soon. I think his trial date is soon, but they brought the episode ahead of time.
If I read lips correctly, I feel like I could see the letter G coming out of her mouth.
But yeah, they didn't want us to tell us on purpose, so we'll never
Could
know.
have been guilty, but they ended it because we literally do not know.
Yeah, they said we can't make a decision either way, so we're gonna let your imagination.
You
They may follow
decide.
up on it if there's an actual answer, but we'll never know.
You decide. We're not telling you because yeah.
There's not an answer.
All right. What do you give this one?
Ooh. 3.5. It's all right. It's
Yeah. It wasn't perfect, but it'll do.
yeah, it's all right. It's not one of the ones that like drag you to the ring and be like this episode was terrible or like it was wasn't fantastic either.
But it was
Best
interesting.
view.
It was interesting to see Nolan be like, "Well, I was wrong. I'm sorry." Because, like, I mean, yeah, he sees it. He makes mistakes, but like, this is like the first time where he's like, kind of openly admitting that, yeah, I screwed up.
Yeah. The next one is called A Perfect Family. I need to find the words right now for the. I just watched the promo again because of the bio of the Amy Provo did not put what the episode was about. But basically, a 12-year-old girl has been shot and killed, and they're trying to get justice for her.
Ooh, that's gonna be.
Is it 24/17? That's crazy. We're at 17.
Yeah, let's see if it comes up.
Family. Why perfect family? Um, perfect family.
24, 17.
Oh, it says when a student is thrown. Wow, a student is thrown to her death.
Oh
Riley
shit!
zeroes in on a family secret. To, okay, Riley zeroes in on a family secret to piece together her last moments. Price and Maroon must rely on on oh my gosh, must rely on the of a young child's testimony to determine if an unlikely suspect should be charged with murder. There it is. Sorry, the
The
words were
eyewitness,
not words.
the eyewitness account of a young child. Oh
Yeah,
fuck!
so we don't know what this child is going to say or remember. So that'd be something. Hopefully, they get justice for this little child.
Yes, because she's 12 and she should not be dead.
Yeah, she's literally 12 years old. So
Okay.
okay, SVU, this is a good one.
Yes, that's for you time.
Like I wasn't expecting. I mean,
Like,
I expected that to be
yeah,
a good episode, but
like
this
it
one
did
was
not
like
go.
better
It
than
did
it
not go where you originally
think it
think
did
it.
not go where you thought it was gonna go.
So it's called "Let Me Bring Pardon," and it is a revisit from
Hold on, there was
26.
something I was gonna look up. Hold on, let me look up something. Keep talking.
It is a revisit from 26/6, which is the episode that was based on the Gabby Petrillo case.
There's some. I think it's a prayer. Let me bring. I can't remember.
I mean, that would make
It's a
sense.
it's a prayer. Oh, it's a prayer of Saint. Oh my gosh, where's the heart today? Prayer of Saint Francis. That's what it
We're
is.
stuck. We can't do this. Um, yeah,
Yeah,
revisit from
it's the
26/6.
prayer of Saint Francis. Basically, it says, Lord, make me an instrument of your peace, where there's hatred and love, where there's offense, let me bring pardon. So that's a lot out of this prayer from Saint Francis. I knew there was a prayer. I couldn't remember what it was, but it's the prayer of Saint Francis.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So it's a revisit from 26/6, where it's based on the Gabby Petrillo case, where the boyfriend tried to.
and then that's a word we can never pronounce. Rorschach word. That word. That was it. So we couldn't pronounce the title too.
Where the boyfriend
Like, I can't pronounce.
tries to kill his girlfriend Ellie,
Yep.
and now Ellie is in a coma.
Yeah.
Ellie is still in a coma.
Yeah, she's not in like a ventilator anymore, but she's still
She's like in
still
like
not
a
functioning.
long-term care facility.
Yeah, she's not awake.
And it's weird because it starts with Chris's mom, Virginia, goes to come visit Ellie's mom, Laura, and Ellie, and like she's forgiven her.
Yeah.
And they want to move on, and all is
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's like the first scene. And then the second scene is one that
Olivia,
yeah, she's going to her mother's grave. She hasn't been there since somebody said since season 11. She's like they've shown her go there.
Yeah,
season
like
11, so it's been a long time.
As we know, she could have been there. We just don't know. So, and it starts, and she says, "Hey, Mom, I know I haven't been here for a while, but I have been thinking of you, especially in therapy. I just want you to know I've been working really hard for forgiveness."
Yeah, like, oh,
Rip my heart out, don't you?
I know.
What you don't need, like, and yes, is there some ways that she does need her forgiveness? Kinda. Is there some that she doesn't? Yes. So I was like,
Yeah.
confused by that.
Yeah, I guess maybe one day she'll explain on what she was talking about. But I guess in a sense, maybe Olivia's thinking about her mom at this. I mean, yeah, she's saying it, but also like Noah's almost a teenager, which is like the age where like Olivia kind of went through most of the like troubles with her mother is when she was a teenager.
Yeah.
So maybe she's kind of thinking about, being a mom to a teenager.
Yeah, she's like, I need to do better. She's trying.
Yeah, she's trying.
Yeah.
Which is
okay.
good.
So yeah. Then we have Allie's mom who is praying for her by her bedside.
Yeah, they're in like a little like prayer room, I think. Maybe that was the first thing. I don't
little
remember.
church chapel dating.
Little chapel like hospitals have, you know.
The boyfriend's mom comes and they show Ellie a video.
Yeah, her name's
That
Virginia.
they show Ellie a video that she took with Chris.
Yeah, I don't know why they thought this was
Hoping it
gonna
would,
help, but okay.
yeah, hoping it would help her. I don't know this. Yeah, I don't know why
She
she
once
thought this
she's
was
not
gonna help.
looking, she doesn't have her eyes open. One, two. I don't think she'd want to be reminded of Chris, but you know,
And then we transition to the
whatever.
precinct, and we get our
Yeah,
first and little tidbit about that. Yes, a trial is happening.
soon,
Um,
very soon, the next episode. But
soon.
you know,
We're literally
it's
all
fine.
talking about Carisi's trial date.
Yeah, they're like, bro, this is out. This news is just out here like that. But okay.
And we find out that Deontay is basically saying he's not guilty for duress
Yeah.
and something else. I don't remember
What's
what
the other?
that.
I wrote it down. I got it from somewhere, and I did not put the other word down. He says duress, and he says something else like I forgot, but it's
And
kind of
it's just,
silly. Deontay,
yes,
you should have just
does
took
the
the plea
squad
deal.
does the squad care about Carisi? Yes. Are they
Yes, they're
going
like,
to Are they going
they
to
were
waste the opportunity not to crack a joke or two? No,
no, because they didn't have
because
a
they literally Bruno's like, can you picture it, Carisi in the witness box?
him because Deontay's got this young hot shot attorney is what they say. Like,
Yeah,
so I don't
they're
know who
like,
this. They didn't show this
Olivia,
person in the trailer, so we don't know who's
yeah,
defense, who's prosecuting. We just know that this is
no,
happening.
because Olivia walks in and they're like, Captain, who's this guy's attorney? A young
Exactly.
hot
Like,
shot attorney who basically wants money.
yeah. Well, he said I think originally they said he's doing it pro bono, so he's doing it for free.
Okay.
He's
I don't
doing
say,
it for
looking to
free.
make like bones or something. I don't know what that means.
Pro bono
Um,
means you're doing it for free. You're
uh,
doing it for
I
free.
thought it said bones, not bono. My
Pro
bad.
pro bono is free.
Yeah, and then Bruno's like, "Can you picture it, Carisi in the witness box?" And then Finn
It's been
goes,
a
"I
long
might
time.
have to attend to see him held in contempt." Which I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I kind of want to see it.
Well, the trailer kind of alludes to like,
I kind of want to see it. Like,
yeah, but the trailer kind of alludes he gets rather angry, but we'll
like,
talk about that when we get
like
there.
picture him. He being held in contempt. I don't think the only time he's ever like been put in handcuffs is when he's
I mean, they
undercover.
were yeah, they were playing undercover ones. I forgot
And
which
then
one that
like
is. Might be
imagine just like
the
Amanda
one.
walking up to the little
It's the one
cell
with
and just
the
being like, "Sonny,
what did
we
you?
gotta talk."
When she Undercover Mother. I watched Undercover Mother yesterday because it was on TV, and like that's still one of the funniest Carisi scenes. I think that makes me giggle every time because he's not he
So
gets
part of
pistol
me is like,
with by
yeah. So
you're
part of
like
me is like, yeah, it might hurt him if he
they're
gets
not
out.
shooting.
God knows, I kind of want to see it because God
Yeah,
knows
well,
he's
we know he gets
pissed.
gonna get upset, but we don't. We'll talk about specifically him getting upset at the end because it's in the trailer and it's like,
Yes.
oh,
And then I made a note that he hasn't been on the other side of the courtroom since season 20.
yeah. So
That
you
is
know,
6 seasons ago.
and it's
That has
different.
been
It's also
years.
different from you like being a cop telling what happened versus you being in the situation.
Yes. Like he
So
was literally there.
yeah, he was there.
He
Literally,
is the eyewitness. He has
yeah.
to tell everything. Okay. So then
We'll pause on Carisi because we have things to
yeah,
say.
'cause we
We'll say
actually
this
have
at
to
the end.
talk about the actual episode.
Yeah,
Olivia then gets a phone call
yeah.
to come down to the facility where Ellie is. And a doctor is talking to her. And she's like, yeah, we were doing some tests and we find out that Ellie is pregnant. And it's like, what? Like this girl is in a coma. They're like, okay, well, it's got to be the boyfriend's, right? And the doc is like, I don't know because it says that she's 16 to 18 weeks along.
Yeah.
Meaning
They have a rough
somebody could
estimate because they don't know the date of conception. Because you know, if you could talk about it, you know what day you know you would know, but
Yeah.
yeah, she doesn't know. So.
They go. So Olivia goes to talk to Laura, and the mom is oddly happy about this. She's like, I'm getting a grandchild. It's a miracle. Um,
Olivia's like, whoa, 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 whoa.
whoa, 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 whoa. Like, um, I'm glad you like have your faith and all that, but like, first off, this only happened once.
Yep,
It will
there's
not
only one
happen again.
immaculate.
Two, you know that if this did happen, that means that somebody did something, possibly
Bad.
did something to your comatose daughter.
Because she cannot consent because she is comatose.
And the mom does not want to hear it because she,
Mm.
like, her family is already having a hard enough time dealing with the fact that she won't take her off of life support.
Yeah.
She doesn't know how she's going to deal if they find out that the grandchild is possibly a product of
No.
non-consensual relations. And Olivia's just standing there like, okay,
They get
thanks.
field DNA, and the mom's like, no.
Yeah, so great. And then they're like, okay, so now they kind of have to go around because they need to figure out who did this. So they have to go around the mom, and the only reason in order to do that, the only way to do that is to go to Chris
Mhm.
and basically convince him to petition for DNA.
Yeah.
And he's like,
I'll
basically, he's
do it. I can get early
yeah,
parole.
I'll do it if I can get early parole.
And I'm like, sure it is.
Fine, whatever. Then they basically Olivia and Finn leave. They don't want to talk to him anymore. And Finn goes, "See why this strikes a nerve in you."
Now my light died. Sorry. Yep, but the light died.
And
Because it's
Olivia's
dark.
like, "Yeah," and
Mhm.
Finn says, "Well, if you want me to, I'll do like we did back in the old days and knock some heads together."
He's like, "We can't do that."
And Olivia's like, "Yeah, but then I would need a new sergeant,
Yeah, because we can't do that.
so don't do that."
No, don't do that. I knew
And
the
so
light on the battery was low power, but I just ignored it, hoping we would make it, and then the battery faded
Olivia
out.
then tells Chris, "Well, you fix." Oh, yeah, you're back.
Fixed.
Okay. Olivia then tells Chris's mom that, like, um, yeah,
She's like, we could just
they're both
co-parent.
like they both talk here. They're like, "Oh, we're gonna co-parent the baby together. It's gonna
We're
be
like,
fine."
that's not how that, and they're like,
And
that's not
Olivia's
how that
like,
works.
That's not how it works." Um, because he's
Because they're
they
like
have
it's
to,
like 17% of the
yeah,
father's income, but like you're not making your father's not making any income because he's in jail, which means that you have to pay the
you
17%
have
of
to pay
the
the child support until the child turns 18.
exactly.
And then she's like, "Okay."
Oh,
And then Olivia goes back to the precinct and she's like, never underestimate the power of cash. Because
of
now the
course.
mom has
Changed
uh,
her mind about that.
changed her mind and basically petitioned for the DNA.
Yeah.
Because like she's like, I'm not sorry, but I'm not paying for this baby if it's
Mhm.
not
A lot.
my blood.
50% of your income.
Yeah.
But there's
Uh,
a, I don't know, we know exactly what they were talking. They're kind of talking a little bit about like Olivia kind of is really deep into this like case,
yes.
like,
And
what's
then
up for
Bruno's
her?
like, is there more to this story? And then Finn is like, yeah, but I
That's
figured
not
you all stop asking.
yeah, let's let her take care of it. Don't be asking about it, okay?
Like even Curry is like, do you really want to try figuring this out?
Yeah, we're like, no, you don't.
And Bruno and Silver are kind of standing there like, yeah,
No.
there we go. Um, oh yeah, this is the way. This is when the mom is like, I don't want to do this. She says this is a miracle, and
You're like,
the
that's
mom
not how this
goes
works.
on and says, miracles don't always happen the way we want them to. Sometimes they happen the way we need them to. And then she looks at Olivia again, and it's like, ugh. And she says, please don't take my miracle away.
Exactly. Or like,
They have a tiny trial,
yeah,
and the judge basically rules that they need to establish paternity.
yes,
And the mom is pissed because she didn't want that.
yeah.
And then they're like, okay, so now we need to check at the both the like trauma unit in the long-term care facility, who could have possibly went to visit Ellie. And we find
Hmm.
out that there is a potential of it being one of 115 men.
Yeah,
So they have like this literally all the male doctors in the facility in a
they got like a
giant
DNA
line.
test.
Silva's
Line,
taking the swabs.
they're like line up everyone.
Bruno's standing outside the door like bodyguard, like next,
Yeah,
next. And then we see this one doctor try to exit the line.
they're like, where are you
And it's
going?
like, where are you going? And he's
He's
like,
not
I
even a
I
neurologist. Like, he's
I
got
have a
brain
procedure. I'm
surgery to do.
sorry, I have a procedure I need to go do. He's
Brain
like,
surgery to do.
okay, we
It's
still
fine.
need your
Yeah.
DNA. And he's like, no. And then he leaves. So
Yeah, like
Bruno goes back to the precinct and is like, yeah, everybody was fourth willing except for this one guy.
hmm
And then we find out that this one guy did visit Ellie a bit. So you're thinking it's him. And it's
wrong.
like, shit. And well,
It's early in the episode, so
he talks to Bruno and is basically like, yeah, I went to visit her. I was taking care of her, but I wasn't like they were like, did you like talk to the mom at all? And he's like, no, but there was this guy she was talking to, a youth pastor,
yeah.
that was getting really close with Laura and Ellie. And it's like, okay, we'll keep that in mind. So
hmm
the DNA results come back, and unfortunately, the baby isn't Chris's.
Yeah.
And Olivia is pissed. She's so upset. She literally like
hmm
finds it out. She literally just walks to her office. I think. Hold on.
Yeah. The Chris keeps calling Laura.
And basically, it's like, I want him to leave me alone. Like, I'm sorry, this isn't his baby. Like,
Yeah.
oh wait, hold on. I jumped ahead of things. So they first take Chris's DNA. They test it. It's not Chris's. So then they have to do a DNA test of every single guy in the
hmm
facility. And that's when the chief of neurosurgery walks off. Um, Basically, they go, and then Finn goes to talk to Chris again, and he's like, "Stop calling Laura, or I will show you how uncomfortable I can make it here for you."
Yeah, but like,
Um, who said she slapped the blonde off of him?
Finn says that about Olivia.
Yeah, she was. We then get the precinct.
Oh, because she wasn't there because Olivia didn't go this time, and he's like,
Yeah,
Olivia did. If Olivia heard this conversation,
oh,
she would have stopped.
It was Finn and Curry that went.
Yeah, yeah, Finn and Curry go this time. So she would have stopped. They're like,
And
yeah, you're right.
yeah, and then Curry is talking to Finn, and like Finn's trying to act all nonchalant, and then
Like,
Curry's like, "You
I
forget I
know,
worked at IAB.
I know everything.
I read her file. I know what this is. I know what
Yeah.
happened." And Finn goes, "Yeah, and those are the things that make her right for SVU." And
hmm
then Curry is pretty much like, "Yeah,
You're right.
I agree with you." Um, Finn is a real one. Yes.
Yeah.
Finn goes to talk
They
to
go
Olivia
tell the Olivia, and she's like, I'll go do it myself.
in her office, and they're like, yeah, we
He
need
won't do it. Olivia's like, I'll go do it myself.
I'll do it myself. Um,
Dang it.
who said you got in my head?
I don't remember that one.
I think it was Laura, maybe. Anyway, oh, the doctor.
Probably was.
The doctor.
Yeah. The doctor was like, I definitely didn't, but I think, but you kind of like,
Basically
you
wanted
feel
to
like I did.
see that if Ellie would respond with the hand squeeze
Oh, yeah.
because
Yeah.
Olivia said that's how
Said
she
that this.
communicates. And that's when she mentions the youth pastor visited to pray over her, and his name is
Yeah.
Caleb Hartwell.
Yeah.
Um,
He said something about like, he was at the hospital because another family, I guess, from
and
his
they
church was
was
there because
a
their daughter was
girl
in a drug
was in a drunk driving accident, and unfortunately,
She
she
did.
did not make it. So her organs were donated, and she was trying to comfort Ellie's mom about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And while
He went
Ellie
into
was
Ellie's room.
talking, I mean, Ellie's mom was
Ellie's
talking
mom was gonna go talk to these other people.
to other parents. The pastor went in Ellie's room, closed the
And
door, and
closed the
shut
blinds.
the
The
blinds.
blind. He said,
And they're like, great. So they go to talk to him, and he's basically like,
he's at home with his wife and his children,
yeah. And
Just
he's like,
just
I was just praying with God, having a private moment with Ellie in her room praying. And Bruno and Silva are basically like, yeah, okay, then you wouldn't mind, you know, giving us DNA, right? And one way or another, he's basically like, yeah, no, I'm
Yeah.
gonna talk to my lawyer.
So
Goodbye.
they gotta go get it. They go get it. They can go. They have to go subpoena. That's to get a warrant. So
They get a warrant,
then go to the church. They go get him from the
and the
church.
guy is literally preaching on forgiveness
Yeah,
in front of
some children,
like yeah, like
like
teenage
youth age, like
children.
teenagers, not necessarily children, but you know,
And he sees Bruno and Silva like walking down the aisles, and he's like,
they're kind of in the back, the corners, isn't it?
and he's like, oh, I'll be right back. And he literally like puts his
No,
Bible
you
down
won't.
and walks into the confessional booth.
I don't know if they have a confessional booth. I
Well, at
don't feel
least
like the kind of people that have
I
a
thought it
confessional booth.
was.
He
Anyway,
kind of takes like a back exit.
they
He
open
doesn't
it.
seem like a.
They open it, and
He's
I'm
like a
thinking,
secret back door, like
yeah,
kind of thing.
there he opens it, and they open it, and I'm thinking he's just literally just gonna be sitting there, which would have been funny, but no.
Yeah.
They follow him. They get outside the building. They get him. They
Yeah.
arrest him.
Then he runs into Curry and Finn.
Yeah, and
They're
they're
on the
like,
opposite
hi.
side. You know?
And then he
Curry's
again.
about to pull her gun, and he's like, oh. She's like,
Um.
listen,
So
I'm
basically,
gonna tell you.
they interrogate him, and Olivia's in there, and Olivia is in
Yeah.
there with Bruno, and
Yeah.
he goes on to be like, "This God called me to do it."
And she's like,
Quite literally. And Olivia goes, I know God did not tell you to rape a helpless, vulnerable woman.
I was like, God did not tell you that. God could tell you a lot of things, but
Then he
not
goes,
that.
do you believe in God, Captain?
She doesn't answer right
She
away at all.
goes, I
But
think you're deeply confused on who God is.
exactly. And God did
And
not
then
tell
he
you
pretty much
anything.
like goes on to be like, yeah, this I was supposed to do this. And I wrote in the notes, dude, just be glad Carisi isn't here.
Exactly. Carisi would
He
not
would
taken this
kill
seriously. He
you.
would have been
He
so
would not
upset.
let you like be glad it's
Carisi's
just
already on that. He's already
yeah,
on edge.
he's
Like he's been on
already on
edge
the
for
edge.
weeks.
If he
You
was
would just
here for this
he wouldn't even
case, it'd be done. He'd be done.
yeah, you'd be
Like
done. You'd be
he'd be
done.
dead.
He's on the edge. Carisi's already on the edge here, all right. So like
Yeah.
he
But
would
just be
not have
glad he's not here.
no.
And then he has the audacity to say, oh, I did what you've been doing. I asked her if she wanted a baby. She squeezed my hand. I gave her
You're
a
like
baby. What the fuck?
exactly you're like what? How can you wrap your mind around audacity? And just
Ew.
my mom said, you're like, my mom was like, you better we're like, you better be glad that God did not strike you for that, because God did not tell you to do
And he's like, this is totally fine. Like, this is what God wanted me to do.
that.
No,
You're like,
man,
no.
no. And Olivia and Bruno are pretty much just standing there like, what?
Yeah,
And I forget if it was Olivia or Bruno, but one of them was like, you conned her and her mother.
yeah.
And then Olivia goes on to say,
Knowing the fact that he probably was never going to say anything until like he had gotten like this baby had been born, probably,
yeah,
or they'd be like, "Who's the baby?" You know, he probably would not have said a word unless he got caught.
yeah. Like he was fully like, did not think he did anything wrong.
Anything like, dude, you have a wife and children already.
Yeah. So, yeah. I do believe, and then Olivia's like, to
So
answer your question, I do believe in
I do.
God. And I hope you do half as much as you pretend to, because then you know there's a place way worse than this for people like you. And until then, I'll make sure you spend the rest of your days in a 6x8 cell. I
And we're like,
promise.
okay.
It's
We're
like,
like, well, okay. She meant it too.
ooh. She's
Like
gonna
she
put him
meant
in
to.
jail, and then he's going to hell.
Exactly like that. She's
Yeah,
like, listen,
you go.
the
So
jail
yeah,
was just a momentary. And then,
he's arrested. It- yeah, like pretty much
yeah,
like this is open and shut. Like the girl's
done.
fucking comatose and is now
Yeah,
pregnant. It's his.
yeah.
Yeah. Um, and the mom is just like, I can't believe like
You
I
need to do
trusted him.
something.
Like I
Like,
let him
yeah,
like the I forgot to mention that the mom did not know that Caleb was in the room alone with her daughter
yeah.
because she like
She
never
kind of
let
just,
him
yeah, she
do
never
that.
left.
He was always with
Yeah,
them. So she didn't know that. So after that, she was like, oh my
I
God.
never.
So
Yeah.
she feels
So one
betrayed.
time. Yeah,
And she's like, I can't believe I trusted him. And
yeah,
Olivia's basically trying to comfort her. And she's like, I don't know how I'm going to handle this burden, or Allie's going to handle this burden. And Olivia's like, I understand because I carry it too.
yeah,
And she like goes on to say that she's also a product of non-consensual relations,
yeah, yeah.
and that it's not always easy, but you can get through it. Also, I don't know if they like intentionally did this or not, but this girl also being named Ellie.
Yeah. And Noah's mom is named Ellie.
Yep, exactly. Okay, so I give this
The
episode.
last scene, I had to put in this. The last scene is Olivia goes back to the cemetery and she
Oh
takes
yeah,
some flowers.
yeah.
She doesn't say anything. It's just that she goes and she takes the flower. She puts some flowers and wipes off the snow
I give this
off
like
her.
4 stars. It was pretty good.
Yeah, 4.5. I really like this one.
Yeah. Okay, now
Oh
on to next
boy.
time, guys.
Oh boy. I don't know what to say, y'all. It's not. It's what more? I gotta watch this trailer. Will make you like. The trailer
Yeah,
gets me every time. I
you
watched it
need to
like
watch
10
the
times.
trailer. It literally starts with Amanda
It's
testifying.
start. Well, it starts with the. Yeah, it starts. Her voice is over
It's
like talking
talk
over like.
like yeah, they're like recapping like what happened at
Yeah,
the
they
bodega.
wasted so much of the promo waste showing us what happened. Like, bro, we had 15 seconds and he spent like 8 of them.
We know what happened. And
I
then
can't
Amanda's
forget it.
voice cracked, and she's in the witness box, and she's like, "I thought my husband had been killed."
Yeah. Okay, I'll read you and then we'll kind of like break this down. So he says Carisi attempts to put aside his role as a sorry, my words I can't read. Prosecutor to serve as a witness in a trial. Benson tries to help a survivor struggling with her recovery, which I'm assuming is going to be tough, but
Yes, yeah.
assuming so. But hold up, yeah, basically,
Thought my husband had been killed.
and part of him is still
Still
trapped in that
trapped in
deli.
that deli. Like, oh,
So that we'll stop right there. Let's break this down. We'll break it down part by part. That she says part of him is still, which is true. Part of him is
it's
still trapped in that deli. He's
like
never
this.
gonna be the same person. And oh, well, that's the next thing she says. But
Yeah, like literally, half of Sunny is trapped. The Sunny, who Crazy was before, is
he
trapped in
walked
that
in
deli
and has not left.
and has not left.
And so the fact that he visited the deli once, and that kind of that like image of him going back, kind of just
Mm-mm.
shows you that like something is he's still mentally
Yeah.
trapped there.
And if in case you're wondering why is Amanda testifying, 2 reasons. One, he's there
She was
at
a
the top, and 2, it's her husband.
and it's her husband. She would know that he is not well. He's not. It's very weird. It's been
Oh,
going
please,
on for a while that Carice is
please,
mentally not well.
I want her to give the defense attorney what for,
And that can just
please. Because as of right now, we don't know what exactly the defense is gonna fully argue, except for
I mean,
that it was under duress.
yeah, we're like, bro, what you mean duress? He could have walked out at any time.
Yeah,
Do you want to say
literally.
We said this before. We've broken this down another
You
time,
gotta
but
stop
he
the
had
killing.
every
You
single
gotta
chance
stop the
to walk
rape.
away.
Oh, okay.
He just does not do anything.
Then
Was
there
this
is this
$200 worth it? No.
there is this point where I believe it's like after Carisi has testified, maybe,
Yeah,
and he's
maybe.
walking towards the defense table,
They show a clip of Deontay kind of just like looking like a little too happy.
and then we
Hold
get
on, I think I had it a second ago because
Carisi's
I'm playing it. Like,
pissed off face going, "You better wipe that
there's
smile off your face."
there's this shot. Hold on, we're gonna show you picked frame by. I can show you frames, but I can't show you
Frame by
actual video.
frame, y'all. He's not
So
happy.
this one, this is the. I guess this is maybe after he testified because obviously when he's sitting there, if he would have. Um,
Unless it's like the
we
open.
can't shoot. Yeah, that's like yeah. Part of him is trapped in the belly. Dang it! It went too fast. I had it the first time I paused it, and then
Angry Peter. Woohoo! Angry Peter acting. Yay.
uh, no, no. That goes by so quick. I'm gonna have to like. Hold on, let me put the speed down on YouTube playback speed like by 6 because it goes by very quickly, and if you don't get it, you'll miss it. You have to watch it and like no. Here it is. I got it. And this is what I was looking for. Like this is
He's
kind
like,
of whoever this defense attorney
the
is in the shot.
defense attorney like is looking over, like trying to stop whatever's happening.
Yeah,
And Creasy's
yeah.
like,
Because the
"You
next
better
scene,
wipe that smile off your face."
yeah, he's gonna wipe that smirk off his face, and you're like, oh, if you need
Shit!
to,
Like,
if you need,
oh, he is pissed.
yes, he's very upset, and we don't his
We aren't sure why, but oh fuck.
yeah. And the Olivia tells Carisi, you need to take your power back.
Which is like she says that to like survivors a lot, and I have a feeling Carisi like does not think of himself
No,
as
he's
one.
he's compartmentalized the fact that he is not a victim in this case. That it makes it he's kind of make obviously clear that he does not think he's a victim in this case.
Yeah, and then we get the next line from
last-
Amanda that's like, "Fuck."
She's like teary eyed. Hold on, I gotta play it at normal speed so I can like hear what she's saying. She's like teary eyed, like
She's sad. She's very sad.
I think she says, hold on.
He's not gonna be free unless we win this case.
Win this case. And there's like another frame that I want to show you because it's very.
It's like, oh my god, what happens? Like
this part where he stands up. This part where iPad, stop it.
Like they have to, right? Right.
This frame. We don't know like what he's thinking about or what he just happened, but like he stands up and he looks like that kind of look where he like he's gonna like throw up. Like it's like yeah, I don't know.
Like, in like looking at it, you would think it's open and shut, right?
No. Defense
we don't know what the defense attorney is freaking doing. Yeah, also, we have no idea who's prosecuting, so we don't know.
Like they gotta exactly.
Also, Carisi used to like when the defense attorney is badgering can literally just be like objection badgering. Nope, exactly, you can't do that.
No, you can't say a word. You gotta sit there and listen to it.
Especially if the defense attorney is ripping into tests.
Yeah. Like, what are you gonna say? What are you gonna say? She wanted it? Like,
she has a fucking boyfriend, and no, she didn't. So shut up.
She was being held. There's a gun to her head, and the guy pushed her in the freezer. Like, Boyd put her in the freezer. They were all in the freezer a lot of the episode, but you know that defense could argue. I mean, saying Deontay's under duress is kind of a stupid argument, but it's when they're gonna have to push really hard.
Like, yeah, it's like
it's not like because it's like one, they both had a gun. Boyd had a gun. Deontay had a gun. It's not like
you could have shot him much earlier, dude.
If you wanted to, but you waited till the last minute where you had no choice because it was that the people they were about.
Then you were realizing, fuck, he killed somebody, he raped somebody, I'm screwed.
Yeah, after Carisi has told him multiple times they had a plot to kidnap somebody, but you know, a lot of stuff was happening.
Like literally the whole like at the beginning, Carisi's like, kid, you
can leave. You don't have to do this. He's been begging, pleading. Carisi's pleading the whole time, like you don't.
He's literally standing there, like as there's a dead body on the ground, and a traumatized girl in the freezer.
Yeah, he's like, why did you do that? Why did you have to do that?
Why did like you help? Like why you said you were gonna help me? Like
He's
you
like,
helped
you
Ellie?
helped him.
You helped
He's like, you
us?
helped.
No.
Okay. Yeah, that episode is ingrained in my skull. Like, there's nothing else in it. But yeah, he's like, you helped all. You helped. No, you didn't help.
We're in for a ride, y'all. But then also we know
Yeah.
Amanda's in the next episode, so we get 2 weeks of Amanda.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, this one I'm the one they swapped. I don't know. They may have swapped them one after that in that one, but we don't know yet for certain.
We'll
Anyway,
find out.
but what else do you have to say about that? Yeah, we are not ready, but
We're
they're gonna
not.
make us ready.
Nope. Nope. We're gonna see. We're gonna try to brush off our trial
There's
skills.
something. Yeah.
Do.
So, by the
But,
episode, we are gonna try our hardest to say
but
how
we
well
need.
we could have done
Yes.
this.
But we need to talk about the details, y'all, because some of you don't need. Some of y'all need to shut up.
One more thing you noticed a while ago, we talked about it and then didn't talk about it anymore. You talked about how this, like, Carisi's tie is the same tie that he wore when it happened. You talked about this when we talked about this a while ago. You were like, that's the same tie. You did a whole analysis. It's a different shirt, but he is wearing the same tie.
Yeah. Like, I feel like he did that, like, maybe on purpose.
It's like, I can pretend, like, act like everything is fine. I am fine. I'm going to do this. We're like, no, sir, you are not fine.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, we need to talk. We need to talk, y'all.
Yeah, it'll be serious. But our serious hats. When I was serious, I don't know what I'm gonna say. We're gonna be serious again because I'm tired of it. I don't know why I keep flipping my hair today. But I know, I feel a little sassy today.
That was funny.
I don't know why I keep doing that. But
okay.
we're gonna be serious again.
Yeah. So there was a bunch of people.
There's one person in particular that everyone just went. Everyone was like, no.
Yeah.
They were not taking. They were not taking a shit from that person.
One side of the ship train that caused the other two sides of the ship train should be like
everyone else. Basically, anyone who, it didn't matter if you even were on a ship. Like, people were like, bro, what are you talking about?
What are you talking about? That basically said nothing happened to Carisi. Why does he have trauma?
Like, we're like, and then we were like, listen,
no,
just because, no. Hard.
And then they went on to say, like, stuff has actually happened to Olivia and Amanda. They have a reason.
They can double down instead of
being like, oh my god,
not double down. They were like, bro, we're like, no.
First off, stuff did actually happen to Carisi at this.
Yes.
He had a giant wound on his head.
Yeah, he did get pistol whipped with a gun.
He was
had a gun to his head.
He was being held hostage.
Yeah.
And forced to stand in a room where he cannot save a dying man and could not save a young woman from her life being changed forever.
Yeah. He had a gun to his head multiple times. The boy shot him to the ground and had a gun to the back of his head. Like, you know,
gun to his head when they're walking outside of the
Yeah. He's like, I could very much die in this very moment.
Like, Amanda had to see her husband's. To have a husband have a gun to his head.
Yeah.
Also, like, as somebody who works at SVU, not being able to stop an assault, like,
which is what he says. Carisi does say this when he's having his breakdown. When like the other girl comes to talk to him, I forgot what her name is, but he's like, I used to be a cop, and how like I wish I could do something about it. If I had been a cop, I could do something about this. And you're like, oh,
yeah. And so we also compiled a list of things because apparently people.
I tweeted them because I had enough people, so I had to go tweet it. I wouldn't tweet.
I did not think that Carisi had been through anything else
in his life, which is quite an extensive list.
Not true. So, story time.
Yeah, we're gonna go through this all. It's not an order or episode codes, but this is what we can think about. Our friends kind of helped me add to it because I was like, they thought of stuff that I hadn't thought about. But yeah.
First off, he had a rough. So we called the little
reasons why Carisi needs therapy.
Reasons why Carisi needs therapy. He has a rough relationship with his father, which is from mentioned in Man Up, Man Down. Like, obviously, it's not like an abusive relationship per se, but his dad isn't exactly the type of like, oh, I love you so much, son. Type of person. Yeah,
he's not that. So we don't really, but that really like plays up. I'm gonna keep
He
slipping people
was
off the thing.
bullied as a child
Yeah,
and shoved through a glass window.
yeah. He's like, that's not a story because he tells it in an episode, and he's like, I wish if I had done something, maybe that one because the bully ends up like stabbing somebody with a knife or something. And Greasy's
Yeah.
like, if I had like told that one, he was like, they shoved me through a window, and I went to school, and the principal asked me what happened, and I did not answer the
He
question. And
had
now that person stabbed someone.
he had a different criminal hold a gun to his head.
Yeah, it was a
Um,
former cop, and they were trying to save this girl. You know, like
he is
he's
anxious
sneaking
about his
around, and
family.
Olivia, he and Olivia are trying to go catch the guy, and like they're going in. He got turns around, and he's just like, you're like, oh, sorry.
Like
And Greasy,
anytime something happens to his family, he
Greasy
gets
kind of just he gets
anxious.
that like a little bit of a in that episode he has a little bit of that like lip quiver he does, and he's like scared, but there's no words. He's just like, but like
Oh,
yeah, the lip quiver gets me every time when I watch when you watch Cornered. Like he walks out, he's like, I'm sorry."
like
You're
he's
like,
like he's literally like trying not to cry, but his lip is quivering, and then he's immediately apologizing, even though he has nothing to apologize
yeah. And
for.
Amanda's like, "It's okay, I'm here."
He's
You're like,
trying
oh,
not to cry, but then he's in his arm, and then he's in her arms, and he's like, "Yeah, I can't hold it. Nope, crying."
crying. Oh my God. Yeah,
Um,
Kelly talked about when they filmed that how like she's like, I'm just gonna cry too. Like he feels it.
yeah, like I freak like literally. If I got Peter Scanavino acting or not acting, fucking sobbing in my arms, I'm gonna lose it too.
Exactly. Like man. But the next thing on the list, I don't remember what
Uh,
episode this is because I don't really watch the Stone arc very much. That's why I'm wondering what episode it was. But he talks about
he
how like
kept his mother's abortion a secret. He
yeah,
never told his dad.
he told Olivia,
Nobody
but
else knows except for that Southern lawyer he told.
yeah, and Olivia, he told Olivia. But like yeah,
Oh yes, and Olivia.
yeah. And I think the baby had like like a very
Yeah,
like fatal heart defect, and it was like our mom thought about it and it was like this child wouldn't have lived very long. And,
he could have had a brother. Nope.
yeah, he was like, yeah, my
He's
mom made that
been
decision.
this for years.
And yeah,
Also,
his family with his family being Catholic. Well, I'm not all Catholics, but the Catholic Church has a very intense stance on abortion.
yeah, like
So
the
you know,
mom, like she's like she couldn't tell my dad.
yeah, yeah,
Couldn't. She just couldn't. Also,
yeah,
the fact that like out of everyone she could think to tell, she's like, I'm gonna tell my son.
yeah. I'm gonna tell my son.
He also has had his niece was assaulted.
Yeah, it was that.
Unfortunately, the first time she did lie about it, but then it did actually happen the second time.
Yeah,
And his
forgot.
brother-in-law was also assaulted.
Yeah,
Uh,
forgot to add. Also, like his niece was also harassed and promising young gentleman because she was taking this. Forgot about that till a minute ago.
yeah, fun. He used to be he's very fearful of being sick and getting germs. He was very scared in the episode with everybody was getting measles. And
Yeah,
he
but measles is
sanitized
going around again, y'all. So, oh
yeah,
boy.
and he sanitized every
And
single
he was
time he went into
he
a
was
room during COVID.
yeah, he did. He was always getting the hand sanitizer like every time. But yeah,
Uh, he used to be anxious before court because he would down a bottle of Pepto Bismol,
he really did. He was
and
drinking
then
that
he
bottle.
threw up once.
Yeah. He walks out of the bathroom and Amanda's like, "You okay?" And he's like, "No."
There was a car accident he was in with a survivor when he was trying to um bring her somewhere safe. And although they never actually proved it, though we know the husband had someone hit the car. So the wife died, and Creasy had blood all in his head because he was driving.
And you're like, "Oh,
And then the had to deal with the fact that um
Amanda was
because
kidnapped by Bucci." Oh, sorry.
because the mom died, the dad automatically got custody, even though the dad was abusive
Oh,
as sick and
yeah,
caused
I
all
didn't
this.
remember the episode, but yeah.
And so it was the one with a sunk cost fallacy, the one with,
Oh yeah, yeah. I
and
don't
then
watch a lot of like that, like from like 1913 to
yeah,
do
we
anyway. I
don't
usually
pay
skip,
no, we don't.
this. I'm like, I don't remember which episode it was. I just know what
And
happened.
then we just have to then we um oh my god, what was I gonna say? And then yeah, the aunt was like petitioning for custody, but anyway, Creasy felt so guilty.
Yeah, I
Um
think he carries a lot of guilt. Overall, he carries a lot of guilt.
yeah. He
Um,
then Amanda was kidnapped by
by
Bucci.
Beach. Yeah.
Literally leading him to say, if
He's
she
like, I'm like, oh.
if she gets hurt, what's the line? Oh my god.
I don't know the line, but he was like, I'm gonna kill him pretty much. He was, I
Yeah,
was
basically
like,
like if she gets hurt, he's gonna die for this.
exactly. I was like, man.
Then she was literally shot. And
There's a thing
even
about
running
like,
to
yeah,
Olivia,
they
crying.
cut the scene out of like they cut the scene out in the like streaming version of it for some reason. They cut that scene out.
Yeah.
But when you watch it initially, I guess you'll never see it again unless somebody put it on YouTube or something. But like you see him like
His, he
trying.
literally,
He's
this is like the first time we see him running and his hair is unkempt.
yeah, like that man was running for.
Like
He's running.
he didn't even take the time to gel back
You
his
know,
hair. He
yeah, he
ran
was running.
straight there.
Yeah, and how like he hugs Olivia. He's crying. I believe he is crying. Like he hugs
Yeah, he is.
Olivia, and Olivia's like she gonna be okay. You know.
And yeah, and then we see him go to visit Amanda, but she's like
Yeah,
in the
that's one of the episodes
hospital.
I've never watched again.
Um,
Sorry, that crossover which is terrible. Never
yeah.
watch that one again.
He then saw Amanda when she was panicking when she was in labor with Jesse.
Yeah, I just watched that
Because
one last night.
he was dealing with, I think it was eclampsia, pre-eclampsia.
Yeah, probably was preeclampsia. They
So,
didn't exactly say what happened. Probably was preeclampsia.
um, he was stabbed in the ear with a pencil by a
Yeah,
serial psychopath
yeah, Henry. Never forget.
and was bleeding.
Yeah, that was
Um,
just a.
he was threatened in open court by
Yeah,
Wheatley.
so you threatening me? Because
He
are you
literally
threatening me?
looks at him and says, "Are you threatening me in open court?"
Exactly. He was like, oh,
And Barbara's just on the sidelines, like,
yeah.
"Fuck."
Still no news about Barbara. Sorry, y'all. Besides Galileo's on Broadway,
Yeah,
that's
like
all we
all we
really.
know right now for Raul is that Galileo's in workshops again, and yay, because he's yay, but also like we don't know.
Yeah,
We're hoping still. We
believe
don't know.
you have like, you know,
He had to go undercover at a
a
like
place
a
for
home for sex offenders
yeah,
and
basically.
pretend that he liked looking
This
at
was one
pictures of
of ch-
little children,
I
even
know,
though
like
he literally wanted to fucking puke.
yeah,
And because there was
some like neighborhood vigilante or something
yeah,
like that.
that's because there
Something
was
bad.
somebody that got assaulted, and then the men from the place were being accused from it. So one of them went to get vigilante justice and literally hit him in the back with a bat.
Yeah, because
And bruised
Olivia, because he
his
recently goes back to
back.
the precinct. And they're like, Olivia's like, you can go to the hospital or something. You're holding your back. He's like, no.
Yeah.
That man never acts like he's
Um,
in pain. Like that probably hurt really bad.
and then the guy after is like, oh shit, I didn't know he was a cop. I'm sorry.
Like, ow.
He had to deal with the fact that there was somebody looking at Jesse.
Yeah,
Although we did find out that that guy actually did want help, so that was
yeah,
like,
which is good.
yes,
That was okay. But initially he was just like, you need to back off.
like literally, because he's like mentioned, like if my dad saw anybody looking at my
Dead.
sisters like that, they'd be dead.
Exactly. Because he
And
is
Olivia's like,
Therese.
you can't do that. You're a
You're
liar.
right. Yeah, you can't go do that. Okay.
And
You know
then
you
was
be.
cornered. He
There's a long list of things. Just cornered alone.
cornered. He literally just went to go get
Some flowers for
flowers in a
for
card for somebody's birthday.
yeah. It was
He
the
walked
paralegal the
literally
paralegal in his office. He's like, yay. I forget you got a little card. Sorry, this episode's memorized in my skull. Like
walked into a robbery and he was
he,
trying to stop it, but unfortunately, him talking kind of led
he
to
was running his mouth too. He was
things
getting anxious. He was running his
happening.
mouth too much. It was like crazy.
Yeah, like when he's anxious, he can't shut up.
And they're like,
Um,
you're yapping too much, Carissa. It's not. They
then
don't like that.
then he watched Ali die. He
Yeah,
was
they were gonna
helpless
rob
with
him.
himself.
They were
Yeah.
gonna take everything he had. His phone, his wallet, his
The
credit
wedding
cards, his
ring.
ring,
He had
his
to take
ring,
off his
his
wedding ring.
ring. Oh my god, that part gets me every time. Still, like he was just like that was like the last thing. He's like, and wait, the
Like
rest of the stuff
literally,
we
he's
mad at
like
him.
shaking
Yeah,
as he's
everything that they don't have
taking
rings
it
on
off
today,
and
but
putting it
like
back on. Like that ring
that was
means
like the last thing he
holding.
was like. He's like the phone, you can have it. My money, you can
Oh,
have it.
also they were looking at pictures of Amanda on his phone. He was pissed. So
Oh yeah, yeah, that was also true. He's like, this is your wife, and he's like,
mm,
to be looking at her.
that gives me another. So yeah, that is all the things that Gracie has in his life.
Compiling it about his life.
Also,
Yeah.
it makes me think of. I wonder if the defense is going to be like, okay, well, you went back in there, and all of this happened.
It's your fault, isn't it? He's like, he
Yeah,
has enough guilt already.
yeah, literally, that's gonna make it. That's
That's
probably
gonna be the have to be their argument is that like
that's
this wouldn't have
probably what
happened
they're
if
gonna
you didn't
do.
walk in there.
Probably going to like that. Probably has something to do with the scene where he's standing against his window, but like.
Yeah. Yeah, because
Mm,
if it's literally they would have left if Carisi had not walked back
they just
in. That
wanted
was
the
their
money
they were literally going to leave, but Carisi had to walk in there. You know, he was just like,
and be
la
like,
la la. Oh.
oh, you don't have to do that. And it's like, shut up, please, shut
Carisi
up.
just you should have turned right back around. You saw something suspicious, you walked back out that door, but like, live help. You know, would not be sitting around and be like, hey, I'm going to go outside.
Well, actually, he literally didn't even notice. Like,
Yeah, he didn't. Oh yeah, he
no,
didn't notice initially because he's talking to Ali like, "Hey, you got one of them little cards with the flowers?" And he's like,
like, I know Lee is pretty much just like, oh no, you're good. You go.
"You
Take,
can have it. You can have it. You can have it."
you're
Okay,
good.
side
Go.
eyeing like you can.
He should have just left. No,
Like,
he
okay,
chose to
bye.
then saw.
Yeah, they're gonna put
It.
it on him, being like, "If you had not walked in there, this would not have happened. It is on you." And you're like,
If I see Crazy cry on the stand,
he probably is gonna cry on the stands.
I'm going.
I'm gonna
Dick,
cry on the
Dick
stands.
Wolf is gonna need my. Dick Wolf is gonna get my therapy bills.
Listen, I gotta bring out the Carisi shirt next week, maybe, or the Rolisi shirt. I don't know yet. I haven't
Also,
decided yet.
Peter kind of might need my therapy bills because he's the one who wanted Bruce to get held hostage. So
He did say something that like, "Yo, I kind of want something to happen to Carisi to see what."
well, I did, and now look at all of us.
You know, like,
We're a mess.
think about it every day, almost every day, because we've
Literally.
been working, like we've said, we've been working on a fake of like this his healing journey, and like it's really good, and we're doing a family vacation, which is really fun. It's pretty
They're
fun, but like
Hollywood because
because I said
yes,
because we said so.
because we said so. No, we are convinced that Rollins and her kids would be
Yeah,
Dolly Parton
exactly.
fans.
Yes, so
No
there.
ifs, ands, or buts.
Hopefully, we finish this fic. We're gonna try to finish that chapter by this
Soon.
weekend. Soon, really by this weekend, because we got this trial may either because what happens with us is that we either write really slow or really fast, or we just like bam, 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 done. You never know which one you're gonna get. You know, we haven't had a good spiral writing session in a long time where we would just write for hours, 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 hours. Man,
And hours. And
yeah,
hours.
literally until the
Hours.
sun. We did
And
it like to like 3. We did it like 3 a.m. one time. We're like, bro, we need to go to sleep. I can't be up like this. At 3 a.m. was crazy. But things get more on spiral and worse and worse and worse as the time goes.
yeah, literally when it gets like at 5 a.m., then
You haven't pulled a 5 a.m. yet, but we could. So y'all listen. Basically, I know I had to continue my rant about stop being misogynist. I guess and so misogynist. I mean, yes, some of you being misogynist because they all. But like, stop saying men cannot be traumatized. Stop it.
sure as hell he was.
Yes. Stop saying that. Because your feminism is fake if you're being like, oh well, he's not a victim. We're like, yes, he is.
Yeah,
Um,
unfortunately.
unfortunately, he is, and you need to stop being fake with your fake. Your fake. I had something specific that I said because I was mad, and I was like, listen, I'm gonna tweet this list, and if you want to argue with me, you can, but nobody did argue with me, so I was ready to argue that day too, but nobody wanted to argue with me. And my that tweet really nobody wanted to argue with me that day. Where is it? Something I said at the end of my rant. I have too much. Oh, I said just because a man cries and he feels his emotions does not make him weak. Y'all need to let go of your toxic masculinity and fake feminism. That's what I said.
Yeah, no, but the fact that literally majority of the fandom, although we like don't agree on everything, all immediately went, huh?
Exactly.
Leave
Like,
Grace's name out of your mouth and shut up.
exactly. We're like, stop it, because it's like, because just because y'all favorite bald man does not show his emotions like that with toxic masculinity and such. It does not mean every man is like that. Carisi is very much a a feeler of like he feels when he feels something, he feels it with everything. He feels it with his whole heart, and like that makes you a really good person when you like can feel. He makes him. He's very much an empath. You know, he's never talked about like being much of an empath, but he very much is, and like you literally can't like make a feminist argument being like, well, that man's not. He's like he can cry. He had a lot to cry about because that was a lot. You know, if you had been in the situation, you'd probably be crying too. So literally, like, I just don't understand people who are hating on son Dominic Carisi Jr. For any reason.
Mm-hmm. All right. We gotta wrap it up. I guess stuff
Yeah,
we gotta do.
good things to do, good things to write, things to do, places to be.
Thanks for listening, guys.
Literally, thanks for
Buckle up
listening.
for
If you
April 3rd.
Yeah, because next week, well, y'all won't hear from us again until the week after, because
Unless like
this week is
something
off week.
happens.
Yeah, something big happens between now and next week. We may like pop in and be like, "Hey, here's a short little video." But if nothing happens, y'all hear from us the week after. We talk about these episodes because it'll be good. I guess it'll be good. I can't say it'll be good. The acting will be good. Storyline, I hope will be good.
The acting's gonna be yeah.
I got take this up, y'all. So make sure you like do whatever you do on your Thursdays. I guess something else coming on. I think Suits LA they put on
Yes.
Thursday.
Also, it's
So
March
not even Law
Madness
and Order.
season, so
So not even Law
woohoo!
and Order is even not even on tomorrow. So we'll
Probably March
make your
Madness.
own Law and Order marathon. Prepare yourselves. I don't know. Do
Get
whatever
ready,
you need
y'all.
to do to prepare yourselves for this because we're gonna get you right.
Yes. Okay, that's it. Thank you. Bye bye.
Yeah, thanks for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share with your friends and leave a comment. Do all those things
Tell
because
your
it means a
friends,
lot
tell
to
your
us that
enemies,
you
tell
do.
your family, tell anybody.
Tell anybody who likes Law and Order. We'd love to make this our content creation, our full-time job, but we can't because
Yeah,
not enough of
please.
you are listening. Not enough
Please
of you
help
are
us.
listening. Literally, so we can achieve our dreams. Okay. All right, y'all. That's it for real. I think we're done.
All right. Bye
Thanks
bye.
for the goodbye. Hold on. If I can, my mouse. If I try my mouse. There it is. Oh, I can find my mouse. There it is. Nope. Stop drifting. Oh no. Hold on. There you go. All right.